not like us. They not like us.
Is this the newer
Is that
one?
you? I do feel like there needs to be some type of rapping involved there.
That's true.
That's why.
Yeah, some young, like some from like the current kids are saying. Is that a new one? I'm getting mixed up with the intros.
No,
now.
that's the last one.
Last one we
That's
did
the last
with
one when Lindsay were
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay.
Remember? And then we went back to the classic.
I don't remember the I don't remember that part. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I totally thought it was Anton.
It's very divisive. In this day and age, it's very divisive.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's good to see you guys. We are on episode 9 now.
It's been a minute too.
It's been has it
That's
been?
true.
Though?
Yeah, last week we had winter break for the kids. So,
Yeah.
did your kids have winter break or no?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
And I didn't know about this until Sunday.
Oh man.
I was like, oh crap. Yeah. Because, when I was a kid growing up here,
Yeah.
I was like, ski week? What is that?
Right.
Right?
Ski
It was always spring break and then
Is it
summer.
a ski week? Is it like
That's what
official?
it's
They call it ski week.
Some
That's
people
like
call it-
the
Oh, really?
the kind of the lingo or whatever, but it's
the Bay Area?
technically just winter break.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, dude.
So then I did good. I took it in the ski.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, so instead, we did a last minute sports camp for Diana.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but like the schedules are all messed up, and then I'm transitioning, not genders, but I'm transitioning offices. So like there's just been a lot. It's been crazy. Like I haven't been able to. Like my life is a mess right now. It's exciting, but it's just a total cluster.
It's
What about you?
chaos. It's always good to have a little chaos in your life.
Dude, it's too much chaos. I don't thrive in chaos, but being married to my wife and kids, like that's kind of my environment. So I need to just man up, stop being a little baby about it.
You were going to say another word.
Huh?
That's good.
You were going to say another word instead of baby.
Dude, I'm so on point now with this podcast. I'm such a professional presenter now. I'm not gonna cuss as
Because you
much.
already canceled.
Yeah, you can't hurt me. You can't. I've already been canceled. You can't hurt me. I'm invincible right now. Like, can't lose any sponsors. We don't have sponsors.
Exactly.
I can't offend any listeners. We don't have listeners.
We have Lindsay.
I'm untouchable.
We have Lindsay
That's true.
and Diana and
Lindsay's boyfriend.
Yeah, and that one lady in the Midwest,
Athena?
the 80-year-old that's stuck on our website. It's just like, ooh. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been wild, but yeah, it's good.
Dude,
How you
speaking
guys
of
doing?
those camps, that's like the business to be in, by the way. Like
Oh,
I
really?
always feel
Yeah.
like in the Bay Area, if you can have something focused on kids
Oh yeah,
or pets, you're gonna make a killing.
100%.
You know,
That's a story when I was selling TV back in college on eBay. So one of my another friend, he started also with TVs, but then he shifted to baby stuff.
Mm.
And then he was making way more money selling like baby toys or like, something baby related.
Yeah.
Because like the profit margin was way higher than TV. Like, TV like maybe 10-20%, whereas like baby stuff is like 50 to like 80%
Oh, yeah,
like
right.
profit
Yeah.
margin.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so
it's-
I mean,
yeah.
you're right. So I think if whatever you do with kids, I think it's very profitable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because also too, like with babies, like when you start thinking, it's kind of like a home, like a single family home, right? Like whenever you get kids involved or whatever, is that me? Like whenever you get kids involved, then you start like kind of thinking about, if it's like a good decision to buy something and
Yeah.
at that price, you're just justifying it, right? Because it's
Totally.
just like, if I don't pay all this money for this stuff, that means I must not love my child. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's why baby stuff is so,
Yeah.
because like it affects me all the time. Like if I'm at Target, my kids don't need diapers anymore, but like when I'd be looking at diapers, I'd be like, oh, I get this cheap stuff. It's a good price,
Right.
And I'm like, why am I trying to cheap out on my kid's ass?
Yeah.
Like my kid's ass deserves the most primo
I agree.
pee padding or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then you just pay the extra $10.
Yeah.
But that applies to everything, like
Yeah,
the baby
of course.
food, the snacks,
Yeah.
Dude,
everything.
and it's not
Yeah.
even just babies, when your kids become toddlers and teenagers,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
Like,
you
yeah,
know?
I want the best. Yeah, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
also when first kid too, like the people buying everything.
Oh,
It's like
absolutely.
like they're buying
sure.
more than they need.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you think, what
Yeah.
if that? What like it's
Right.
yeah. I think it's definitely good business.
Yeah.
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 Dude, it's funny. So I was at Diana's softball practice the other day, and then you know, like all the parents were all just talking to each other, and like they were talking about how, you know, the hand-me-downs like work in their family. And then I was just like, dude, I feel so bad for Dylan, because man, he's gonna be just like swinging a pink bat and a pink glove, pink socks, pink shoes, pink backpack, pink everything. And then you know how like sometimes if you don't know me, my humor is very dry.
Right.
So you can't, and I take it too far.
Yeah.
So they don't know if I'm joking or not.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna tell them it's just about like owning it, right? And just really owning it. And all the parents were just like, is he serious? But you could tell they couldn't say anything.
You gotta throw a laugh in there.
But I loved it. I was like, oh.
They're buying it.
Man, but because like, what are they gonna do? Report me to Child Protection Services?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, what? Like, what's wrong with making my boy wear pink everything? Were you trying to control how I raise my child?
Can't do that in the Bay Area, man.
No, dude. I'm like, hey, you're whatever you want to be. You could be a boy, a girl, a cat.
Yep.
Oh
know,
man,
gay,
But
straight, whatever you want to be.
but you don't want to teach your kids like that, yeah?
You know, do I? Maybe I do. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
That's not real, then. By the way, everyone.
No, hey, what's wrong with that? Hey, he can be whatever he
Dan's
wants.
he's trying not to get canceled
I
again.
don't know.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's whatever he wants. That's fine. But I think it would be funny to kind of throw a pink bat in his quiver and just see what happens.
You should, for sure.
Or maybe he'll swing it faster.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he'll be more technical with it. But anyways, so guys, let's just jump right into it after
It's
this
a good
really
segue, actually.
weird intro.
No, it's actually perfect.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it ties into home maintenance. Oh no, we're talking about being dads.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
that's true.
So what's
Right
the
on
topic?
track.
Home maintenance would be way off. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Dude, masterfully done. I love that segue. Wow. Okay.
Until you butchered it. Thanks.
Yeah, I completely derailed you, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, you'll get us back.
Yeah.
Today, guys, the topic is being a dad in real estate, right? Lessons.
Don't do it.
Don't do real estate or kids? Or
No
both.
comment.
Trying to get him canceled. So we're talking about, I guess it's just whatever, right? Like being a dad in real estate, what we've learned, how you guys juggle it, anything you guys want to talk about. So
I think over the years, I mean, it's just been chaos.
right. Well, okay.
Just
So how many?
managed chaos.
Right. How many kids do you have?
So I have two. My oldest is a sophomore in college. It's her birthday today, actually. She's
happy
20,
birthday.
dude.
Oh my
20. I
gosh.
can bear a freaking 20-year-old.
Dude.
She's actually going through it right now too, because she's just like, I can't believe I'm 20. I'm so old. I'm like, what?
What?
What
It's
does that make
actually,
me?
you're really young and your
Yeah.
dad's just really
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. So she's 20. And my youngest, who we just did college tours with during ski week last week,
Yeah.
is junior in high school.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot easier when they get into high school, I think. Because
Right.
at that point, you know, they're driving or their friends are driving them.
Right.
Oh, nice.
They're a little bit more self-sufficient, except for the money part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember early on, elementary, middle school years, it was always a challenge because, you know, as a realtor, you can't really turn it off, right?
Right,
Your clients expect you to be on 24/7.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, there's that pressure to feel like you have to be available 24/7 because you're always chasing business, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a sales business. I mean, once a deal closes, it doesn't guarantee you're going to get the next deal, right? So you're always hustling.
Yeah.
So it was always a challenge in that regard, especially early on, to try to handle both because I want to be present at the dinner table or playing with the kids. You know, I don't want to be on my phone during that time. So it was always challenging. I can't say that I definitely perfected it, but I learned to manage it. I learned to push back with clients, like letting them know, hey, I'm with my daughter right now at a field trip or whatever.
Right.
Just trying to make sure I was living in that moment because, you know, you see it a lot with other realtors and lenders and stuff like that. They're always on their phone, you know, during family time. And I made a conscious effort to try to not do that, you know, and And I think the great thing looking back over the years was I was really able to participate in my kids' school activities a lot.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty about this job, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of stress, and like I said, you're expected to be on 24/7, but at the same time, you have so much more independence than if you were working in a corporate job.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, going back to the office and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, those early years definitely challenging, but I think as they get older, definitely gets easier.
Yeah.
You guys are in the thick of it right now, so
Yeah. How are you coping with everything? How many kids do you have
One
that
daughter.
you know about?
That I know. Yeah, the one, daughter, one daughter, 7 years old.
It's so crazy that she's 7 already.
Well, I mean,
So
I think
wild.
I have a good comparison between like corporate and real estate. So I think when I was going to the office, it was definitely like different. Like, I mean, there's 9 to 5, yeah. So if there is something going on in school, like during lunchtime or something, there is no way I can participate. But I feel, I mean, with the real estate, it's definitely more flexible.
Mhm.
Like, because I control my own time.
Yep.
But it's funny that Brett mentioned the phone thing, because I think that recently, like this year or past year, like I was on my phone all the time, like with her when we're doing something, and then she made a comment. She's like, "Papa, you and mommy, you guys always working like nonstop, like constantly.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at your phone all the time?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh man, yeah, that's true. Like, what the hell I'm doing?" Like, I mean, I should spend time with her and like be really like 100% like emerged, like or appreciate this time spending with her,
Yeah.
versus like looking at my phone and like figuring out like some business. So, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So that's why like now I'm trying, like, not, if I spend time with her,
yeah.
like trying not to use my phone at all. And then if there is something that I'm pretty sure this can wait,
And right now for us, it's really hard because our kids are older, so
Yeah.
they're on their phones constantly
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Especially at dinner when we go out and stuff. So yeah, it's trying to make a conscious effort not to do
Yeah,
that. It's,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think you also cannot get this time back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then it goes so fast. Like, I mean, I was just recently like looking at her in bed and like, oh my gosh, she's so big now.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
I mean,
big.
I just remember like she was, I don't know, like barely like my chest high,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now she's so big. I mean, oh my God, yeah. So, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you should definitely appreciate like each second or each minute you spend,
Yeah.
because
I mean,
yeah.
people always tell you time flies, and like,
Yeah, and that's true.
it's
And
feel it.
absolutely
and that's
true.
true.
Dude. I mean, nothing is more accurate than that statement when it comes to parenting, because
100%. I remember when I was a kid, like all the adults tell you like, oh, like you should appreciate the time when you kid, and
Yeah.
like have fun. And I'm like, no, I want to grow up. I want to do
Yeah.
stuff. Like I want to be like my
Yeah.
own. And now, like, I mean, I understand like what
Dude,
they mean,
yeah.
because you have so much stuff going on in your head, like nonstop. It's
Yeah.
like, it's really hard to like turn it off.
Right. Right.
And Athena, I don't know why, but I think she's so smart. She's like, Papa, I don't want to grow up. I want to be a kid.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
really?
perfect. Yeah.
I'm like, she's like, yeah. It's like, it's so much fun.
It's like,
I'm
it's like, look at my life.
You got it.
Everything's
Yeah.
perfect right now.
I don't know, like that's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Like good mindset.
I think that's
Enjoy.
like I mentioned. Marissa's going through it right now, being 20, and
Yeah.
she even said like I miss being a kid too, because
Oh, right.
yeah, even in college, she's second year in college, just studies. She's in a sorority that has a lot of commitments to that, and just going through it right now. Time flies for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because when you're actually in it, right, everything feels so crazy, right? Because Marissa right now, like I know what she's feeling, because I remember being that age, and at that time, everything is so critical, right? And everything's just like, oh, I can't handle it. Oh, it's too much. Like this isn't fair. Whatever. Like it's just kind of like it just feels like the whole world's caving in.
Yeah.
But then, like, even you like what Abraham Lincoln said, like, this too shall pass, right? Like, later on, you look back and you're like, man, I had it good.
Yeah.
It's always like that, right? Like, when you hit, your 40s, you think, oh, man, I wish I was in my 30s again. But when you're 30, you're like, man, I wish I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to appreciate the moment. Going back to what you said about, like, when you spend time with Athena and, like, turning the phone off and being present, I think, like, after the fact, right? It's like, we know that's what we're supposed to do. And like, you're going to regret it if you don't later. But then like in that moment, like that email that you're waiting for from a client feels so urgent. Yep. And it's like, you have to constantly proactively be putting things into context. And I think like that's like the thing that's helped me the most.
Yeah.
Cause like, the thing that I've been trying to work on lately is, even if it feels like I can be on my phone, cause I used to do this where like, let's say, they want to watch like a movie or something, right? So we're watching, I don't know, Trolls or whatever, right?
Yeah. Trolls. What the hell?
Dude, great soundtrack.
Yeah, band together.
Huh?
Trolls band together.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, we
I
watched
love
it.
it. And the humor is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I skipped that one.
It's really good.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not gonna make you cry like the Pixar
It's
one.
Pixar, man.
That's his kryptonite. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Every
I love
Pixar movie, he
Not
starts crying.
every,
Pretty much
like,
everyone.
no.
Like Pixar shorts, he starts crying.
Oh, this the man with the balloons in the house.
Yeah, he's
That's such a-
dude, that one. Yeah,
was
he
classic.
still hasn't recovered. You know?
Toy Story, all the Toy Stories, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
even
Toy
think I've
Story.
watched it.
What? You haven't watched Toy Story?
Yeah,
What?
or Lion King. I still have to get to those.
What?
Oh.
This I don't understand.
Yeah, I
How
know.
you
Yeah,
have?
you just got canceled.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so you think like you can get away with being on your phone,
Yeah.
while you're watching those with your kids. Your
Yeah.
kids are kind of locked in,
Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
Just
okay,
like-
yeah,
Yeah.
that I agree.
but subconsciously, like they're kind of still taking it in. Like,
Of course.
it's like and it's reinforcing the habit of being there without being there.
Right.
You know, and it's like, so I've been trying to work on that. It's hard though, because I'm just like, because it's like objectively they're not even paying attention to me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But actually, apparently, it does matter. They can tell when you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
like with them. You know,
Our
So-
our youngest, once in a while, we'll watch movies with her when she blesses us with that. Makes us so happy, by the way, when she does. But she'll call us out when we're watching a movie,
Right.
and we're checking our email. We're like, you guys aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know, on another note though, like it's funny because, with the kids it's one way, right? But if I'm watching something with Hannah, one thing that I hate is like I get in my own head about it, but we'll be watching a movie and if she's like on her phone or working or whatever, I'm just like stewing. I'm like, oh man, she's gonna ask some stupid question about something that yeah. And I'm just like locked and loaded.
Right.
I've already like loaded that into my ammo, And then the instant she's like, wait, what's going on? I'm like, well, if you were it on your phone, you'd know. Maybe we should just turn this movie off.
It's so funny. I get that way too sometimes, especially like if it's like a really good action movie.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm
right.
totally into it.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, or like if I see something cool, right? Like, Hannah doesn't care about like certain sword swings and like
Yeah.
John Wick or whatever. But then like, I'll be like, oh man, I like look over and she's like not paying attention. I'm just like, damn. Because I don't want to make it a thing. But I'm like, oh God, you just missed like the coolest action sequence ever,
Yeah. Yeah.
But but then like it's funny with me, right? I'm sure like, the kids might feel that way too, where it's like, oh my God, did you just miss Blue's Clue? Like you're on your stupid phone.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, the same thing. Like if Hannah is using her phone,
Right.
I mean, I guess maybe you can express yourself, and the kids, like, maybe
That's true.
They still see it, but like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like they feel a certain way, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't complain about it. They
Yeah.
can't really explain
Yeah.
why it bothers them. So
Yeah.
it just sits in them. And then later, like it manifests itself
yeah,
into them like stabbing somebody in the face. Or like doing math or stealing somebody's wallet. And
It's
then if
always
you
so
trace
extreme.
it back, it's because Anton was playing Angry Birds while they were watching Sesame Street. But yeah, no, it's it's true what you just said.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Because even adults can't even explain themselves and describe how they're feeling. So
And
how do we expect kids to?
And I think the biggest challenge with our job oftentimes is like when, we get offers are due,
Right.
the negotiation period is usually in the evening.
yeah,
Or that's when we have client calls and things like that,
Yeah.
So it's always such a juggling act to handle work in the evenings and then spend quality time with your family,
Yeah, like, and I think that's where it's like a balance, right?
Yeah.
So, when I was working in corporate, like, they tether you with your work phone, right? And then you're just constantly working, but you don't have kids, right? And like, even if you're married, whatever, like it's fine. we understand, like we have our commitments or whatever, it's fine. But with kids, like you know, yeah, we want to give so much, but also too, I think it's important to like protect the work time too. I think the key is it's what I tell Dana and Dylan all the time. Whatever you're doing, if it's worth doing, do it 100%.
Yeah.
But if you don't, if you're not going to do it 100%, don't even bother, right? But if you're going to commit to it, then do it. So if you're going to work, then work. If you're going to do family time, do family time. But I think where people get in trouble is where they try to blend the two and think they can get away with doing both.
Right.
That's because then you're just going to do both terribly, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to get fired and lose your family.
Always so extreme.
And then die, right? Everything falls apart, you know? So, yeah.
But yeah, I think my advice to you guys, in my infinite wisdom, since my kids are older now, is like, I think I've done a good job of telling clients and other agents, like, hey, you know, I'm going to be unavailable from 5 to 8 this evening. I got on a family event or a family dinner or something like that. And 99% of the time, people are like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, totally understand, totally get it. You know, enjoy your time or whatever. So I've learned to push back on with people when it comes to my personal time. I mean, it's easier said than done, right? When you're sweating bullets and trying to get a deal done, you can't always do that. But definitely, I think oftentimes clients, I feel like, respect you more when you let them know that, because you know they sometimes forget that we do have our own personal life as well too, and that we are on 24/7, and weekends usually are sometimes pretty shot, you know, with client showings and open houses and things like that.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is it actually goes both ways, right? Yeah. So like I think it's like with kids, it's important like that. For me, like obviously, even just everything I do is for my kids, right? Even this job change, the reason why I'm in real estate, everything's for my kids and my family. Like that's that. But with that being said, like if let's say that we have negotiations going on one day in the week, right? As long as I'm clear to my kids like what I'm going to be doing, they understand. Yeah, it's okay. It's when it just goes unsaid. Then it's like weird. Then they're just like, oh, daddy's not, that doesn't care, right? But then I tell them like, hey, just so you know, like for 1 hour from this time to this time, I'm gonna be doing this kind of stuff. So, you know, I might not be able to like whatever eat with you or whatever. But right after that, I'll be back and we're gonna do this and this and this, and they're fine with it, right? But if you don't explain that, then they can sense that you're busy, I think, and because you haven't set that boundary or expectation. Then they go to you and they're extra, daddy, look it.
Totally.
Right. And then it's like, and then you're stressed out and you look over and it's something stupid and just like, oh God, it's not important. And they're just like, oh, daddy doesn't love me. Oh, you know, and it spirals again.
No, same thing.
Everyone dies.
Yeah. I actually had this with Athena too. Like I remember I was on the call or something here and then she's coming and started like showing me or explaining something. I'm like, you know, like, and she didn't get it. And she's still like continuing screaming and showing me something. And then like I had to explain to her like pretty harshly. I'm like, Adina, when I'm on the phone and if I'm telling you like I'm in this minute, it's important, you know, it's work. Like, you know, you cannot just like, you know, if you see me on the phone, I mean, usually it's not for fun. Like if I talk to our family, like, you know, my brother or something, you know that. But like if I'm here and like I'm on the phone, that's mean I'm working. And I explained to her like, and then she got it now. Like yesterday, I think I was on the phone too, and then she bring me like a very quietly like a snack kiwi, and then she like, you know, she put it there, and then afterwards, Papa, have you seen how quiet I did it? I didn't say anything. Exactly. Like, you know, I'm like, I didn't. Thank you very much.
No, that's perfect. Like that's essentially what it is. Like anytime the kids are quote unquote misbehaving, they're not misbehaving, right? Because in their context, like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're only misbehaving because we've set these expectations on them. And that's not fair because they didn't even know. It'd be like if, if my boss started screaming at me and like, you know, writing me up for something and be like, dude, I don't even know who you are. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what TMP report? What are you talking about? What's your name? I don't even, what is this? You know, same thing though, right? Like, why? Like, and then we get all upset. And then the kids, they don't take it like, oh, you know, I bothered daddy because he was doing it like a work thing. it does. They don't hear that. They just hear like, oh, daddy's being an asshole.
Yeah.
He's just a
Yeah.
crabby person.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
So
one of my core memories was actually I was on the phone, I think with an agent or whatever, and I had Marissa with me, and we went to Starbucks and drove back home, and I was still on the phone and stuff, and it was a high pressure moment, whatever. Marissa dropped her drink inside the house, all over the floor, all over the wall. I lost it.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember thinking after that moment, I was like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
it's not her fault.
Yeah.
She's just being a kid,
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
100%.
and after that moment, I realized to myself, yeah, I need to just set better boundaries and just be in the moment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Core memory of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, so, I think I saved myself from a lot of those because I get like that. Like sometimes I'm just get in the moment and I lose context.
Yeah.
And in the moment it's hard to reel yourself back. But I forgot where I read this, but like it was a long time ago. Somebody was saying how like I don't know, they bought like a really expensive car and like the kid like spilled in the car
Yeah.
or whatever. And they got really upset, right? And then the kid, like it just kind of damaged them because the response was so extreme.
Yeah.
And like for some reason like it stuck with me. And then I got that 4Runner, like the TRD Pro, pretty
Yeah.
tricked out. I love that car, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe the second or third day, Diana just like spilled something like all over everything. And this is before I got the covers and everything too.
Yeah.
And then I just remember like the first thought was that story. So then I just took my cup and I just dumped it too. Because you could tell she was just like, oh crap. Like she was just looking at my face like, oh fuck.
Right.
I was like, my gosh, why are you looking at me like I'm going to hit you?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I was like, it's fine, Diana. And then see, look. And then we just laughed about it. Right.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
But that's only because I heard that story.
Yeah.
Right. But like, if let's say I was just in that moment and I didn't have like just got lucky and didn't do that mental whatever, like, yeah, I probably would have been like, I can't believe you did that. Like, do you understand like how much that costs? Like, you know what?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then guess what? Like, right. Becomes a core memory.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like for these kids, like, I mean, they take that to heart.
Yeah.
And then how do they translate that when they're that young? It's just like, oh, dude, I can't do anything right. They're like, oh man, I just keep messing. I just keep making daddy angry or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's like it's terrible.
Yeah.
But I think we need to give ourselves some slack too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's like just the balance of work. As long as we communicate to the kids what we're doing, then I think they're smart enough to understand.
But I had many stories like this too. Like I didn't spill something in the car, and I remember also like she's, Papa, are you gonna be like really angry at me now? I'm like, no, why? I mean, it's just the thing. Or like or if I give you to play, like let's say for the expensive camera or something, and then like usually people like, oh, are you not afraid you're gonna break it or something?
Yeah, but
I'm like,
that's
no,
really bad though. You shouldn't do that.
No, I mean, why? I mean,
because it's like a $10,000
because I remember when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I remember like my uncle or I don't know, like family had also like some kind of camera or something, and I always like wanted to play with it or use it, like
Yeah.
and then like as a kid, like, oh no, you're gonna break it, like you cannot touch it,
Yeah.
And I'm like just remembering this, I'm like, am I gonna be like that? Like
Right.
if she really
that's true.
want to use it and like try to take pictures,
Yeah.
I'm happy,
Yeah.
because like
I should let
you only have like one time like with your kid like this, so
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like if she, I mean, I think a couple times maybe I slept on her, but like I always remind myself, I mean, man, this is just a thing, like if she drops something or breaks something, I'm like, you can always get a new one or fix it, or like it's not important.
See, both of you guys are really good dads. I'm the only one that yelled at my kid.
No, dude. I mean, like that's a thing. Like, I like, I'm presenting like, oh yeah, this is, what I should, and it's like, that is the core, like what I'm always driving for.
Yeah.
But I'm messing up every day. Like I have so much regret just thinking about some stupid stuff where I just like in the moment, like, just say something and I just regret. I'm just like, and then it's always like the kids, they're so like graceful with me, right? But like you could tell they don't care. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like kind of beating myself up for it. And I'm just like, hey, Dana, like, you know, earlier how you said this and that or whatever, I like was telling you to calm down or whatever. It's like, no, it's fine.
Do you
I was
think,
just in a bad mood.
do you think if you were in a different career, stuff like that would be less?
To be honest, I think it's, I was more stressed. Well, I mean, I'm more stressed probably in real estate, but for some reason in corporate, it was more like, I feel like mentally like unhealthy stress,
Yeah.
right? Well, like in real estate, I'm stressed, but like I'm also excited because it's like you have control.
Yeah.
Where when I was in corporate, it was just like this constant stress that just piles up. So I'd say in general, I was just in a worse mood in general. So because of that, I feel like I'd probably be snapping at my kids more.
Yeah.
Right. Where in real estate, it's like a double-edged sword because you have that freedom, but it's up to you to also like work in your favor, right? To benefit your family and your kids in terms of like the time commitment that you give them and all that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what about you guys?
I think I don't know. I mean, corporate, usually it's 9 to 5. And then when you come home, you're completely off grid.
Yeah.
But where, like, I mean, a couple of times I noticed myself, like, you know, I'm doing something on my phone, like really focusing, like I have to solve the issue. And then Athena is like, pa, 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 pa.
Yeah.
And it's like,
dude,
sometimes
shut
I'm like,
up.
and then sometimes I'm like, you know, building up and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, wait. Like, it's not worth it. Like, I mean, you know, it's your kid.
Yeah.
And I have to constantly like remind myself, you know, like if I'm really into something like important and then, whereas like with the corporate, like it would be not the case because, you know, when you come home, you just like completely like check out. And then, you know, that next morning you have to check your calendar again and then be there for work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's pros and cons too, but like the thing is you cannot spend time, you know, like during the school time, for example, when you're in the corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think if I was still in corporate, it would have been more stressful for sure. Because I had some really great bosses in my career, but I had some crazy ass ones too that were just I mean, I remember at one stage in my career, I was like going to bed and I'd be grinding my teeth in the middle of the night because of the stress.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So definitely for me, I mean, there's, you know, the stress of real estate, it's like, you know, it's when you maybe don't get a deal done or a deal falls apart. But then after 30 days, 60, 90 days, that deal, you know, that agent that you're working with, they're done, right?
Yeah.
So you can wipe your hands clean. Whereas like if you're stuck in a bad corporate job, you're stuck, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, you can't get out. And it's like,
I think the difference too is like in real estate, you like, even if you're in some shitty situations or like you're stressed at work, like you have agents, you have control.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can do something about it. Right. Where like in corporate, you're kind of limited.
Yeah.
So you just feel like it does kind of like, it's easy to be a victim at work.
Oh yeah.
Because you literally are a victim.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So because the tools you have are limited, like, you know, at everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I think the biggest thing, it's cool doing this with you guys though, is because like, and I think that's why we're good friends, is because we're all like very family oriented in that sense. And we mess up all the time, but I think like the thing that's consistent is like we're principled in what we're trying to accomplish with our kids, and we're always doing our best. And you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of a cheap answer, but it's true.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as you're trying, you can't mess up with kids.
Yeah.
The instant you give up or the instant you start, you do check out, right? That's when you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the kid's screwed and everything, and then everybody dies.
Right.
So, but yeah,
and everyone dies.
yeah, exactly. So, all right, cool. Anything else, guys? You want to?
No, I think we got it covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, because I could riff on this for like
I know, right?
10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know.
I think we're at a good spot right now.
Yeah.
We'll check in with you guys in about 5 years. See where things are at.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic.
Not divorced.
Comment below.
I live under a bridge in a van next to the creek. All right, gentlemen. See you on the next one.
Adios.
Peace.